well. I just had a visit with my radiation oncologist. I see him every 6 months, and I like him a lot because he is the only doctor who feels around my chest in the lymph node area, and he just does sort of like a physical check of just to see if he feels anything. And so he did that today, and I was pointing out to him that on my right side there's a little bit of swelling, but when he felt around in it, there was nothing like concerning about it. It just seems like I'm having a slight bit of like a lymph drainage issue. My left side was the cancer side, and then the right side I also had a mastectomy, and so for whatever reason that side's having some drainage problems. So on the left side, he noted like I can't remember the word he used, but I do know that like the feeling of it is kind of woody, which I think is the best description. It feels like wood. It's like tree, it's just this kind of like dense fibrosis kind of thing. And it's asymmetrical from the left side to the right side in terms of like feeling. So I check myself, I feel around, and I just see if anything sticks out. And what he's noted, like I did not feel like upon my own self-examination. So he's ordering an ultrasound for me, and we discussed between having an ultrasound, having a chest CT, and also I've been having a little bit of trouble with swallowing some of my pills. Like it just gets a little bit more stuck than it used to. I have to drink more water or swallow fewer pills. So he wants to send me to an endoscopist, and we talked about what they would do in terms of like sticking a camera down your throat and seeing if there's anything, they just get like a full picture by doing an endoscopy. And I guess it's partial anesthesia, which I'm very adverse to. I don't know if I'll do that, but I am open to meeting with the endoscopist and seeing what they have to say. So he said the chances of there being, say, like a lung cancer that's pushing and creating this sort of like a pressure or a closure in my esophageal area, however you say that, is really low. I had a chest CT in January, so 10 months ago, and there were no concerns at that point. Most likely it's a side effect of radiation. But so I'm going to meet with the endoscopist whenever that is, probably within the next month or 2 or 3. And then I will get an ultrasound on my left side, and they'll be able to determine at least if there needs to be anything further, like a biopsy or something like that. I sure hope not. I'm just hoping that it's like a fibrosis thing, that this whole area is so tweaked and messed up from, I had expanders in for 1.5 years, which is super long. A lot of women who have expanders only have them in for a few months, or a month even. Sometimes they're in for a really short period of time. I had mine in for a really long time because I had a lot of issues, and I kept I'd elect to postpone the next surgery because it just like had some event happen that was too jarring for me, and I needed a little bit of space to heal in between. So the major downside was that of waiting that long and of taking time in between and having them in for 1.5 years was that the expanders, they're so uncomfortable anyway. I mean, I always equated it to having a toaster oven under my skin. Like it was just, I felt like I had an appliance under my skin. It poked, it throbbed, it pushed. It was really hard to deal with. So in this area, like right where the worst part of it was, I know exactly where that is because I remember how bad that felt. I have my thumb on it now, and that was, there's still a lot of like soreness there. And I just chalked that up to having the expanders in for 1.5 years. So I got pretty emotional, I'd say, in the moment, and was just like, oh man, I didn't feel ready for some potential problem to arise. I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I have not been taking the letrozole, and that has just been like a really difficult thing. I'm afraid to start taking it again now because I was dizzy for 3 days after taking it when I took it like a month ago. But I almost feel like I need to, just because that is like the last line of defense, you know, it's endocrine therapy. If for some reason I ended up with a reoccurrence there, actually that wouldn't be a distant reoccurrence. I don't think that would be local still. So I don't think that'd be stage 4, but I don't know what they'd offer. I know if like stage 4, if I were to have some sort of distant metastases, they would just have me do endocrine therapy anyway. So it's kind of like doing it as a preventative. Maybe I'll take it and I'll see if I get dizzy. Anyway, so yeah, I was not really expecting that, and we'll see what happens. There's really nothing I can do about it except get the next piece of information and then decide how to proceed from there. And that's really my best course of action. I do still have another doctor appointment. I have the UC Davis appointment upcoming and some stuff to deal with like the ITP, but I haven't really been dealing with the cancer because I just haven't, you know, there have been no symptoms or anything. So this is kind of like the first time I'm having any kind of symptoms. I'm 3 years, 18, 19, 20. I'm almost 4 years out. October 22nd will be 4 years, and today's the 11th of October. Wow, I'm really close to being 4 years out from diagnosis. So anyway, prayers and crossed fingers and anything like that anybody has to offer me for this being a totally unremarkable ultrasound, I would really appreciate it, but just wanted to give that update for now. Thanks for listening.